and different walks of life in different circles. It's 9:33. Wayne Pacelle, Animal Wellness Action, making waves. Wayne, I know that you guys had a release, so I was in the press conference with you. I think it was like last week, but the Dome, you had leaked this fight schedule for the Dedido Dome. I know you guys were going to keep an eye on it, and I heard you sent up a drone. What did you find?
Well, Chris, it's good to visit with you again. Thanks for talking to me about this. Yes, we got this fight schedule from someone in the know in that community, and it came at an interesting time, Chris. It came after the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit ruled that the United States has full authority to ban cockfighting everywhere in the United States, the states and the territories. So there's no ambiguity about the authority of the federal government to stop this form of animal cruelty. And, for the most part, Chris, it seems that the Dome has been pretty quiet the last 2 years when it comes to cockfighting. This was the main venue on the island for cockfighting, but our intelligence basically showed that it was quiet. But then this derby was announced where they were going to be cockfighting 4 days a week at the Dome with special intensity on Sundays. So we put up a drone. It was quiet during the daylight hours, Chris, and then there was some activity, about 35 cars on Saturday night, which was New Year's Day, and in the evening of that day. And then slightly smaller number of cars the next night. We did get a report, Chris, that some people said, well, there was some cockfighting. Others said no, they were watching footage from the Philippines of cockfights and betting on the Philippines cockfights. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but I'll say more broadly that our visibility on this issue is really stirring people of conscience throughout Guam. I'm getting more tips and more information about illegal cockfighting activities. I've got two very solid tips about cockfighting venues in Jigo. And we are, if it's the Dome, we want to have eyes on it. If it's the other venues throughout the territory, we want to have eyes on it there. And I want to ask all of your listeners, if you do have information for us on illegal acts of animal cruelty, email us at animalcrueltytips@animalwellnessaction.org. That's animalcrueltytips@animalwellnessaction.org. We will follow up on every one of them.
Wayne, you said you're getting tips from people in the community, but what's the motivation behind it? Are they reporting this for what? Is it like moral reasons, you think, or?
I think so. I think, our poll that we did with a Guam-based pollster showed that 3/4 of Guamanians with an opinion on cockfighting support the federal ban on cockfighting. Only 7% of people on the island had ever been to a cockfight. So I'm not surprised in the least that once people know that we're out there, they know that Animal Wellness Action is not a fly-by-night operation, that we're going to stick with it. They're giving us information. They want anonymity, and we will guarantee that anonymity. And I'll tell you, Chris, one additional bit of information. Somebody sent us footage from a cockfight, and we are in the process of identifying the individuals there. And I think it's going to be startling when we release the details. We've got some information already.
I know that you said when you were coming on that you had a couple announcements to make. Was that one of them?
That's one of them. I think one announcement is our animal cruelty tips at animalwellnessaction.org. We want to have citizen watchers in all 19 villages on Guam. So we're asking people to help us. Law enforcement, a lot of people say, well, the feds need to enforce this, and they do. But law enforcement depends on citizens. Law enforcement depends on people who have eyes and ears in their community, people who serve as witnesses, who provide intelligence and information, and we're asking people to participate. The second announcement is, yes, we've got information on other cockfighting venues. We now have footage of a relatively recent cockfight with clear images of some of the people involved. And as I said, I think it's going to be startling information. And really, I want to announce this, what we're calling now the Report All Cockfighting Events, our race campaign. Report all cockfighting events, and that's where if people reach out to us, we will give them anonymity, and we will do our best to follow up on this information.
Where do they call, or is there an email they can send tips to, Wayne?
Yeah, that animal cruelty tips at animalwellnessaction.org. So animal cruelty tips at animalwellnessaction.org. They can let us know, and we will engage with them and keep everyone confidential who provides information to us. Again, there's no ambiguity about what the law is. Chris, I also did want to mention, I called up the oath that office holders take on Guam. If you're a senator, if you're a governor, if you're the director of the Department of Agriculture, here's the oath that people take. I solemnly swear in the presence of Almighty God that I will well and faithfully support the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the United States applicable to Guam, and the laws of Guam. And that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Guam legislature or as an officer of the government of Guam. It takes an oath to uphold the laws of the United States. This is the law of the United States. What we've been hearing is this message, it's culture, it's not something that we want to enforce. It's not culture. The fact that somebody does something, that a small number of people do it, doesn't make it culture. Does that mean that selling drugs is part of the culture? I don't think so. I mean, it's a small number of people who've done this. Yes, it's gone on for a long time, but the world changes. Traditions change. Animal cruelty used to be widely practiced and accepted. Now it's not. And this is part of our evolution as a society. And we were never just focused on Guam. This is focused on every state and every territory in the United States. This is equal focus in every jurisdiction. Just so happens that you have people defending it on Guam, which has been distressing for me to hear at sea.
Well, there you go, Wayne. So they made a promise, is what you're saying. That's the
it's an oath.
Yeah, it's an oath.
It's an oath.
Yeah. Okay.
It couldn't be more explicit.
Wayne, so I know that we talk about the federal enforcement, and I want to say at the press conference there was something mentioned about conversation with the feds. Have you got there yet?
We are in touch with federal authorities regularly on this issue, not just on Guam, but all over the country. So they know what we know. And again, I think it's just a matter of time before the federal government takes action. But, it took a while for the United States to begin enforcing this federal law. It's now happening around the country. I just think that, again, we shouldn't have to have enforcement on this. We should have people obeying the law. And I really want to ask elected officials to stop giving comfort to people who are violating the law. Stop giving comfort to them.
Wayne, thank you for your time, and let us know when that footage, you sort all that stuff out. It sounds pretty juicy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for letting me chat with you again about this issue. Appreciate it, Chris.
I hope none of my cousins are in that clip, Wayne. Take it easy. There you go. Wayne Pacelle, Animal Wellness Actions. Getting hot. I'm telling you, I know some cockfighters, and they're sweating over this, man. So we'll keep you posted on that clip. They've got a clip of cockfighting. They're working on identifying the people in it. It's 9:42, quick break, and then we're coming back with Jesse Rosario, a.k.a.